blessed evening, everyone. Welcome to Let the Children Play, Future Educators Summit on Breaking the Chains of Child Labor. I am 𝐂𝐡𝐢𝐥𝐝, your moderator, and I'm with my fellow future educator, and today we're going to discuss and answer the questions. How can we combat child labor? Can you propose some educational initiatives that can fight this abuse against children? Let's start with Ma'am Bettina.
So hello, I'll start now already with how can we combat child labor and what are the educational initiatives. So naisip ko na una is educate oneself before others. So ito syempre aalamin natin which country yung laganap talaga yung child labor and what are usually their works and yung rate ng child labor sa lugar na yon. So that's basically the first one na naisip ko, because knowing that we'll be a future educators, we should be credible to what we say. We should be, dapat alam natin kasi tungkol sa mga bata yun at sasabihin natin yun to encourage others to support those organizations na nagpe-prevent ng child labor such as ILO, NGO, UNICEF, and etc. So the second is discourage people in employing children in their businesses. So ending child labor is critical to sustainable growth, development, and technological advancement of the country. But again, they are too vulnerable. So wala pa silang masyadong knowledge sa how things works, and there's a probability na ma-abuse sila. So that's it. Let children be children and not child laborers. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Bettina. Next, let's proceed with Ma'am Tony.
All right, first of all, I'd like to emphasize the meaning of child labor. It's work that is too heavy for a child's age and capability. It puts them in immediate danger. And the saddest part is that it robs them of their childhood. According to a research conducted by the Philippine Statistics Authority, there are 2.1 million child laborers ages 5 to 7 years old in our country alone. And that was back in 2011. How many are there now? It's 2021. So combating child labor would require us to tackle its root cause, and one of its grave causes, if not most, is poverty. Because families are forced to make ends meet, they do what they can to deal with the cards they're dealt with, even if it's putting their children's life at risk. What we should do as a society is generate and provide sustainable jobs for their parents and guardians, help them earn sufficient money to sustain the lives of their families, even just enough to not push their children to work. Now, in a more practical approach, the educational initiative I'm proposing is that we modify the curriculum according to what the majority needs. I'm not saying we lower the standards of our academics. I'm suggesting we make education more fitting to the needs of the majority. And the truth is that the majority do not have plans or cannot afford to pursue higher education. I propose we make vocational courses most accessible. Not only will we keep children off the streets because they themselves would want the essential knowledge, but also provide skills they need for future employment. That's all for me.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Tony. Next, we have Ma'am Myrel.
So, good evening. Basically, child labor means forcing children to do a job even if they are still young. This could occur to a large family whose parents don't have the capability to provide for their basic necessities needed to survive. That is why they force their children to work that is not suitable for their child's age, making their children suffer from their parents' negligence and consequences. So we can combat child labor by setting an age for a children to do a job. 18 years old and below should not be accepted to do work. Also, there are some families who don't have the knowledge or know how family planning works, in which they create large families involving many children, yet their parents would not know how to provide their basic necessities. Hence, family planning should also be taken into account. Furthermore, the educational initiative I propose, which I believe would fight the abuse against children, would be letting all the people or even parents to know the importance of family planning. That would be a big help to prevent the occurrence of child labor. This can be done by providing different seminars, talks, and many more discussing how many children they should have in corresponds to their job and the ability to provide for their children, or how they will not use their children to do dangerous works just so they can survive. That would be all. Thank you po.
Thank you, Ma'am Myrel. Next, we call on Sir Patrick.
Good evening. And to answer the two questions said, I believe every student and child should have a life, and every child would, if they experience child labor, they would go through in their adult years and look back and say they made a mistake and it shouldn't happen like this. So I believe that every child should have a free education, because of what they've been through, because every child needs a life. We should prioritize children or the families who are suffering from this, because sometimes they have no choice but to give their children. But the children again should have free education, and nonetheless the people who are organizing this, the companies, the societies, the corporations, all should get punished, and after the punishment, the money should go to, or suing them, the money should go to charity to prevent this from happening again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Patrick. Let's proceed with Ma'am Riva.
So, ayun, good evening. I just wanna share my story no grade 7 ako. So, I was just 12 or 13 years old back then. And then we had a maid that was just about 16 or 15 years old. And siguro yung pagkakamali lang namin is tinanggap namin siya. Pero out of awa na rin kasi nangangailangan talaga sila. Pero hindi naman namin siya pinapahirapan dito sa bahay. Tinutulungan pa rin namin siya. And I think they should not be allowed to go to work, yung mga minors, kasi dapat nag-aaral talaga sila, and we can help in many ways naman, and also their families should be aware about their children's rights to have shelter, food, clothing, and most importantly, education. And as a future educator, and I would love to teach freely to those who has financial problems with education, especially to the children, because that is what they need. So that will be all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Riva. Next, we can proceed with Ma'am Louise.
Hello. Well, if you ask me, I think we can all agree that every child is precious, and their innocence and vulnerability is something to be aware of. Which is why, in my opinion, the most effective way for us to combat child labor is through law. The Highlighted Republic Act is one example. This helps protect the youth, and the most effective and legal way to combat the issues regarding child labor. As I surfed through the internet and looked at ways on how to combat child labor, I saw a list of educational initiatives that can fight against it. However, as a young adult like me, I wanted to highlight this, which is spread awareness, which is most likely the easiest thing to do, but no. This shouldn't be taken lightly, and even though this sounds easy, spreading awareness to prevent child labor is a huge step, and it will make a big difference in the lives of the youth. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Louise. Next, we will proceed with Ma'am Abigail.
So, child labor is preventing children to experience how amazing being a child is. And it's suddenly because at a young age they are already working. And in my opinion, as an individual and as a future educator, we can combat child labor in a way of helping kids not to get involved with any kinds of occupation at such a young age. We can be an advocator and fight for the rights of every children not to work. Instead, they should be studying, playing, and enjoying their life as a kid. As a future educator, we can propose them educational programs to help those children who are seeking for help to study. For example, we can establish programs such as free teaching to children who are in need, especially those who are involved in child labor. In short, let the children experience the life that they deserve. That's all.
Last but definitely not the least, I would like to share my insights regarding those questions. A blessed day, future educators, and to our dearest listeners. child labor has been one of the most threatening phenomenon in our world. It is a branching problem sprouted from one of the deadliest diseases the world is facing, and that's poverty. Even in the older times, child labor has been rampant as well. From the start of the globalization and industrialization, children were forced to work inside factories, along with machineries and other workers for the reason that it is much cheaper when it comes to salary. However, children were also exposed to many threats and dangers concerning their lives. As a fellow man, change starts from within. We educate ourselves and others by enlightening them with a realistic perspective, showing them what life really looks like. As a responsible citizen, we will join the action in resonating the cause and demands of our fellow Filipinos, making quality education inclusive and accessible to everyone, urging the government to open more job opportunities. As a future educator, we will take part in establishing a curriculum that will also fit to everyone. More funding on alternative learning systems, more skill-based education learning, and also promoting vocational learning. Through this, we can start diminishing the problems in child labor. We're not only depriving children from their childhood, but also we are robbing them their future, their life, and their dreams. Children belong in schools, not in workplaces. Let us create a world where children are eager to learn, where children use books rather than shovels and machines, where children play and enjoy their youth. Let the children play, let the children learn in schools, and let them live a life they truly deserve. Thank you very much sa ating mga future educators na naririto. Again, this is Let the Children Play, Future Educators Summit on Breaking the Chains of Child Labor. Again, thank you very much. God bless and have a great day.